I'm curious about Jaden Hicks coming off the pick six the other day. Take me back to like when you were recruiting him out of Vegas. What caught your eye about him, and like what made him a guy that you wanted to pursue?
Well, I just know recruiting stories. I always wish coaches like to say, "Oh, we knew this and that," right? It was amazing. Coach Banker, who was here at the time, coach's brother at the University of Hawaii, tough, physical player that got bigger as his career kept going. And we saw Jaden out of high school at corner and knew that he could project to the safety position. Sometimes, though, when you're 17, 18, you don't want to hear about playing safety. You think corner's sweet. But we knew he was going to be great, but he never played because of COVID his senior year. Right, so just like everybody else, you're kind of in the mix. We trusted from what his brother did, the family, just kind of a lot of connections, and he's outseated our expectations by a million miles.
Yeah, how has he kind of ascended so quickly? I mean, he's in year 2 playing here. What have you seen from him in terms of being able to kind of get on the field?
I think it's maturity. I think maturity is the first thing that comes. He comes out, he's focused, he's smart, he's detailed. He wants to get better. He takes coaching. He practices really hard, and he sees the results of his work. So I think he's a great example just for a lot of other guys on our team that, everyone wants to play, and everyone uses this NFL term very loosely. He comes out every day ready to work, and I think he's playing himself in that position, which is fun to watch as a coach.
Have you seen or kind of felt the energy around campus as it gets closer to this game?
Well, I wish I was out of my office on a Monday and Tuesday. I'll be able to feel campus a little bit now, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I know this, once you get to that Thursday and a lot of the install work is done, the RVs start coming to town, the traffic starts to pile up a little bit, it starts to feel that energy. And obviously Friday, you can just feel it. The band's starting on the field at night. It's starting to really build, and we stay in our little bubble sometimes, but you can feel it.
How important is this game from a perspective of playing similar competition to what you're going to face in conference play coming up?
Well, I think every game's big. I think every game prepares you for what a tough Pac-12 conference road is going to be. And the best part about it is, you just focus on being 1-0. Every team in our league can beat everybody else, and I think that's been proven really through the first week. And just great competition to really see where you're at. To get off a week 1 and get a win and get those learns, now where do we stack up against one of the best teams in the country? So we get to have them here and see where we stack up.
The tight ends, I think just watching the tape on the game against Colorado State, and we saw them more than we at any point we did last year. Obviously, Coop had the catches, Andre had his first catch, but there were a couple plays where Cam gets free and scrambles, and that doesn't happen without Billy driving a guy into the ground in the end. John's first touchdown run, Andre takes his guy from one hash to the other.
Yeah.
What did you see from that position that maybe is kind of an indicator of what you want to see all year?
Well, we saw growth in those guys. It wasn't bringing in anybody new, and Cam Johnson, I think, has a great role in that mix. Those guys have gotten better and better, and I think the biggest part is the physicality piece. I mean, Andre and Billy really bring that edge and that toughness to our team, and more importantly to our offense in the run game. And I think Coop has just elevated himself into being a complete player and a pass catcher, and I think Cam is a mismatch nightmare. So I think that group in general is just probably one of the most improved groups on our team. But it's also Coach Arbuckle's vision of how we use those guys in very unique and different ways. So excited about where we're going with that group too, because I think we're just scratching the surface.
Washington State played more tight ends week 1 than Wisconsin. Did you ever think those words would be said?
That's actually a factual deal.
4 versus 2.
Man, that is incredible. You would never guess that. And one of their kids is a young guy we recruited from Seattle, so good for him to get out there early in his career. But you would never heard of that before.
Want to ask about Carlos. I think it's not uncommon to see a freshman, make an impact in fall camp or even in the spring. But he goes out there and he has 5 catches, 58 yards in his first game. And when you see that from him, how much confidence does that give you guys as coaches that, all right, he's 100% ready? For the lights of the first game were not too big for him, and now he gets really some big lights.
Well, I think, Jamie, first off, it shows the benefit of coming early to college. He did that, so I thought he had a basis of knowledge. And he's one of those guys I mark on my sheet of guys that I want to check in with on game day, see how they're doing. This kid hasn't flinched one time. And sometimes I'm like, man, to your point, nothing is too big for him. And to go out there and perform the way he's capable of, while we're giving him a lot, special teams, offense, his role is going to continue to grow. So I think, we know we have something really special, but it goes back to his mentality. Since the day he's been here, he comes out here, he works his tail off, and he's been a great teammate. So when guys like that gets results of the work, it's just another great example for us as coaches.
Just real quick, any updated timeline on Tanner and Rashad?
Tanner, yeah, we have an X-ray today that is going to tell a lot about his future. I don't think that means playing this week, but I think very quickly. And then Rashad, I think is pretty well cleared to go, so we're trying to build him back in. Whether that'll be this week, I think it'll be tough, but for sure, I think you'll see him out there the following week.